And now let's bring in CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand, who's live at the White House. Hey, Natalie, what else did President Trump have to say in that CBS News interview?
Yeah, CBS News' Weijia Jiang called the president this morning to ask about that post regarding the Strait of Hormuz, and they kind of had a newsy conversation with a number of aspects. But in one part of it, he told Weijia that he believes we're about 2 weeks ahead of schedule in this conflict. Keep in mind that initially the president said that this conflict could last 4 to 6 weeks. We are, in fact, in that window. So she asked him what has to happen between now and declaring victory. And he told her, quote, not much, going on to say that they want to clean up some ends. He believes it will take them 10 years to rebuild, and that there's been, quote, total regime change. Again, saying something that he echoed yesterday, which is this new regime he believes is more reasonable, and saying that there's been regime change beyond what anyone thought was possible. Publicly, as we know, Iran's regime and Iranian officials continue to dispute this, to downplay it, but the White House yesterday saying that what's being said in private is much different than the public posturing by Iran's regime. Now, Weijia also asked whether it's possible to declare victory without getting Iran's enriched uranium. Of course, that's a key component to making a nuclear weapon. He told Weijia that he doesn't even think about it. He said it's so deeply buried, it's going to be very hard for anybody. He went on to say that it's, quote, pretty safe, but will make a determination. Now, as we know, as CBS News has reported and confirmed, we know that U.S. Special Forces are in the Middle East, and military experts who have been talking to CBS News say that removing or destroying that enriched uranium would be one of the riskiest missions ever attempted, Muko.
And Natalie, the president continues to express frustration with some of our closest allies about the war. What is he saying about their roles?
Yeah, you heard Ellie talk about that as well. He's said time and time again that he doesn't believe U.S. allies, particularly European allies and NATO members, are doing enough to secure the Strait of Hormuz, especially since they receive more oil from that key waterway. So we have a new social media post this morning with a new warning for them, essentially, and talking about the global impact the Strait has had on jet fuel. He says all of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, he says that they should either buy from the United States or, quote, build up some delayed courage, go to the Strait and take it, adding, you'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore. He's argued before that he believes that the U.S. has been there for NATO, but NATO hasn't been there for the United States. Now, Weijia did call again to ask him specifically about that Truth Social post, and he indicated that the U.S. is not pulling assets yet from the Strait, but again, wants countries to step up and do more. And as noted, the UK, they've put together this coalition to essentially make plans for once combat ends. But again, the UK Prime Minister calling for de-escalation here. And it's also important to note that, the fuel shortage that the president referenced this morning, that is having global impacts, including right here in the United States, Mugo.
All right. Natalie Brand at the White House for us today. Thank you so much.